Welcome back, and now it's time for our press review. We're going to take a look at the main headlines of our Egyptian dailies. First of all, allow me to welcome my guest for today, Dr. Raouf Gaffar. He is a political and economic analyst. Good morning, Doctor.
To you. Very morning.
Right, let me start by taking a look at the Bahrain newspaper. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi assured that Egypt supports Sudan's security and stability and Sudanese people's choice and will during a Wednesday meeting with Sudan's Prime Minister Abdullah Hamdok in Cairo. President el-Sisi further stressed the support for bilateral cooperation in a consistent framework of mutual respect and common interest. How do you read this, Doctor?
Sudan, Egypt is practically one country, same people. We've been actually one country until very recently. So regardless of the situation in Sudan, regardless of what is happening in Sudan, our relation with with Sudan has to be always at the highest possible level. And I think we are always there for Sudan, despite sometimes we have differences, of course, politically.
If you allow me, still we have something regarding the same topic, talking about Sudan and Egypt. But this time moving on to Akhbar al-Yom newspaper. The Sudanese Prime Minister also said he was looking forward to benefit from the Egyptian experience in resolving economic issues, including inflation, during his meeting in Cairo. And Hamdok left Cairo after he also met with President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and invited Madbouli to visit Sudan to hold discussions in bilateral cooperation fields. Actually, Dr. Mustafa Madbouli affirmed Egyptian government's readiness to provide brotherly Sudan with all forms of urgent assistance, including dispatching medical convoys, extending Egypt's initiative to eliminate hepatitis C to treat Sudanese patients.
I mean, far beyond. I mean, not just hepatitis C or what have you, but I mean, we remember when the new cabinet was formed in Sudan, the first visit was our foreign minister, and this was just to assure that we are one. And of course, needless to say that the stability and security of Sudan is part of our national security, and we have to make sure at all times that they are stable and secure, because this represents for us depth, political, geographical, and everything. So I mean, the development of Sudan will come from the integration, in my opinion, with Egypt. They have a lot of resources. Maybe they don't have the know-how, maybe they don't have the expertise, maybe they don't have the resources to manage them. But in any event, we do have, and once we put our hands together, I'm sure that both countries will prosper very, very quickly.
Right, moving on to Akhbar al-Yom newspaper. The Egyptian community in the Kingdom of Bahrain affirmed its full support for the Egyptian political leadership headed by President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, the armed forces and police who are keen on protecting the country and its security. In a statement on Wednesday, the Egyptian community praised Egypt's achievements under el-Sisi, which exceeded every concept in record time, including a furious fight against terrorism and foreign conspiracies.
Yes. First of all, Bahrain, particularly the King of Bahrain, has a very special relation with the administration in Egypt, but with Egypt particularly. He comes very often here. He has a resort, he has a house. He loves Egypt, and this is important in relations between countries. I'm sure that our relation with Bahrain is at its highest. And with all the Gulf, we have to assure them at all times that we are one, that their security is our security, and we know the challenges they are facing from different foreign countries that are overlooking the same Gulf. And this represents, I don't want to put it in the exact word, a threat, but at least a menace. And they need to be assured at all times that a country as big as Egypt is always at their back and is always with them in anything they need. So this is important, and we heard a few days ago that the same thing happened with with Kuwait. I mean, these are countries that are as Sudan, and they are brothers to us, and we have to be always there for them, and this is exactly what our president has been doing and will, of course, do it.
I think also this shows how President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi was able to bring all Arab and African countries
100%.
together. Actually, this is something of great importance as well.
I mean, everybody is uniting, except us, unfortunately, and we have all what it needs. I mean, we speak the same language, same religion, same past,
We are
same
the ones
future.
who are bringing people together.
Exactly.
Yes.
So when we see Europe with the different cultures and different country languages, and they are forming. Not an impeccable, but at least they are in a unified Europe. So we need to do that, and we have it, and I'm sure we are on our way.
Right, moving on to أخبار اليوم newspaper. General Commander of the Armed Forces and Minister of Defense and Military Production met on Wednesday with several commanders, officers and soldiers of the commando and paratroopers. He said that the armed forces work with full determination to protect homeland, offering all support to the troops to carry out the mission successfully. He added the forces will remain the nation's shield and a stronghold that protects the homeland with men who sacrifice their lives for their country. On their part, the Special Forces fighters, together with the Commander-in-Chief, renewed their sacrifice and redemption, fulfilling all duties entrusted to them to protect the homeland, its security, safety, and sanctity of its territory.
I mean, we all know, if it wasn't for the army, we would have, maybe we would have not been sitting together and talking now. So, of course, one has to give the credit to the army for the stability and of our country, and I'm happy because our president, not that he comes from the army, but he always sees that our army is always extremely well equipped, trained, etc., etc., and we are becoming now one of the leading armies of the world, and we have to keep it that way. So one has to, as I said, praise what the army did, what sacrifices they have been incurring. But anyway, it is very essential to keep our army in the best shape possible, and not only for Egypt, of course, primarily for Egypt, but for the whole area. They feel secure if they feel we are strong, and I'm sure we are doing the best in this direction.
Right, moving on to Al Masri Al-Yawm newspaper. 9 terrorists, including a commander, have been neutralized in shootouts with police in suburbs of the Egyptian capital, an Interior Ministry statement said on Wednesday. Police raids to the east and south of Cairo targeted hideouts of terrorist elements. Those killed included a commander of the Liwa al-Thawra terrorist group.
A nightmare. They don't seem to end. They don't seem to finish. And I don't know. Whoever is behind them, I mean, I don't know, but it is. I'm happy that the police forces are doing, of course, a very big effort, and they are fighting them, and they are finding them in different
And achieved a
rat
lot
holes.
actually recently.
Yes, and this is, I mean, they are everywhere. It's like a plague. So I am looking for. I'm sure that the police with the army, they have the capacity to end this terrible dilemma. But anyway, I am looking forward to the day where we don't hear of such terrorists plotting here and planning for the destroying, I don't know what. And anyway, so very big effort, very good effort. I hope they continue and we get rid of them.
Right, moving on to Al Ahram newspaper. Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri will on Thursday go for New York to prepare for the participation of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in the 74th session of the UN General Assembly, the UNJA high-level meetings. The first day of the high-level general debate will be September 24. President El-Sisi will be among the first heads of state to address the session. Foreign Ministry spokesman said the Egyptian participation in the UNGA session will reflect the country's important role in the UN bodies, along with its regional role in all relevant issues. During his visit to the US, President El-Sisi is expected to hold a number of meetings with his counterparts and UN officials on means of developing cooperation, relations, and issues of common interest.
I mean, not that the United Nations is as strong as it was. I'm sure they are not, but it is very important. Our president has made it a point to be there every year, to address the international community with the efforts we are doing to fight terrorism from one side and to promote all the activities in our country, to establish development in our country, and to ensure stability and security in the whole area.
So this is something important regarding these events or meetings are the side meetings that take place usually.
100%. I mean, you said it. It's an opportunity to see a lot of heads of state in the same place. So there is always the possibility to see them, to sit with them one-on-one and discuss, talk, etc. And this is what exactly our policy of our president. I mean, he does not spare time or effort to attend meetings everywhere. I mean, we've heard he was in Japan for the TICAD and then the G7 and the G20, etc., etc.
Also now we can see that it is also important to be in good terms with head of states. I mean, even presidents themselves, because this will be reflected on the relation between the countries.
Yes, sure.
Politically, economically.
Exactly. And I'm confident.
You have seen this actually, yes.
Actually, yes. And our president has it. I mean, most of the heads of state, they like him, and they welcome him, and they listen to him. So, and this is important. And as you said, the personal relation between the heads of state always reflects on the overall, exactly, yes, relation between the two countries.
Right. Moving on to Al-Shuruq newspaper. Trade and Industry Minister said on Wednesday Egyptian-German economic relations are strategic and deeply rooted. He added that economic relations between Egypt and Germany reached unprecedented levels thanks to the visits of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi to Germany over the past period. This, I think, will add more to what we have just mentioned.
I mean,
right now.
Germany is one of the most industrialized and advanced countries in the world, and we have to take advantage of their knowledge, of their know-how, of their technology in developing ourselves. And this is exactly what is happening, and it will continue, I hope, more and more.
Finally, from Egypt today, the cabinet approved on Wednesday a 940,000 Egyptian pounds grant offered by the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development to upgrade rail freight transport. The approval came during the weekly cabinet meeting actually headed by Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli.
Infrastructure is essential. We are moving very positively toward that, and I am happy that I wish, more and more, if we need to borrow, if we need to have the help, financial help of countries or institutions, I wish we direct it into industry and production and export, and this, I'm sure, will come.
Right. At the end, Dr. Raouf Gaffar, political and economic expert, thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a very nice day.
Right, and with this we come to the end of our press review, but still we have more to bring you on our breakfast show. But first, to check out some light news, and we'll be back with more on our show.